Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be starting a new series where I paint Space Marine chapters. And today I'll be starting off with the Dark Angels, as they will be getting lots of updates in the new 10th edition. So let's get straight into it. I have primed the model in black and then sprayed it from top with white ink. My first layer will be with Absolution Green Speed Paint from Army Painter. I'm going to airbrush this all over the entire miniature. This took about 2 coats to get to an area where I was happy. My first airbrush highlight layer is going to be with Iosin Green from P3. I will be spraying from a 45-degree angle. I'm going to try and get a solid coat over the entire model, leaving the Absolution Green in the recesses. After the airbrush layers have all dried, I'm going to do an oil wash using Ivory Black from Winsor & Newton's. This is fast becoming my favorite way of washing miniatures, because if I make any mistakes with an oil wash, I can just wipe it up and clean it up with a damp Q-tip using mineral spirits. I gave the wash a couple of hours to dry, and then I came in with a sponge and some Q-tips to clean off the excess, leaving the Ivory Black in all the deepest cracks and recesses. After cleaning the miniature and giving the rest of the oils in the recesses a good time to dry, about half a day, I'm going to come in and do a dry brush using P3's Iosin Green. This dry brush step will help me build up some edge highlights over the hard edges, while still being subtle, as this is still my first highlight layer color. For my final dry brush, I'm going to be mixing 50-50 P3's Necrotide Green and Iosin Green. I'm going to be focusing on the very tops of the miniature, plus all the edge highlights. All the black details, such as the ribbing between the armor panels and the gun casing, I'm going to be painting using Joe Sanja's Carbon Black. You can use any black you wish, this is just the one I have closest to me. Make sure you have a solid coat before you move on. The Imperial Eagle on the Space Marine's chest is going to be painted with copper from Vallejo Model Air. Take your time while painting this part of the miniature, as it is in between a lot of other components. Any silver details will be painted with Model Air aluminium. For the gun casing and the lenses of the Space Marine's eyes, I'm going to be using Pure Red from Army Painter. This will take 2 to 3 coats, so take your time. I'm going to be washing the red gun casing, the eye lenses, the Imperial Eagle and the silver details, all with Basilicanum Grey contrast paint. I will thin this down very slightly with water. Take your time and make sure it doesn't pool anywhere. The purity seal parchment and all the leather casings around the model are going to be painted using Games Workshop's Screaming Skull. This will take about 2 coats to get a solid color. The base of the Space Marine is just going to be a very basic grey color. So I'm going to start off with just a Vallejo model color neutral grey and base coat this over all the details on the base. Be careful when you get close to the Space Marine's feet. To highlight back up all the silver details, I'm going to come back with my base color of aluminum from Model Air. I'll be just hitting the tops of the gun barrels and any of the other silver details. For the gun casing, I'm going to highlight it back up with its original color of pure red. I'm going to do an edge highlight wherever there is a sharp edge I can. And the top of the casing, I'm just going to paint it a solid color again. The gun holster and all the leather pouches are going to be painted using snake bite leather contrast paint. The parchment of the purity seal is going to be painted using skeleton horn contrast paint. My final highlight for the armor panels are going to be using Necrotite green and Iosin green 50-50. And I'm going to use this to pick out some edges and line highlight the tops of each of the shoulder pads. In any area I want to give a little bit of an extra pop to. This highlight step is optional. If you are doing a whole lot of infantry, then you can skip this step and save it for all the characters. I'm going to come back and highlight the purity seal parchment and all the leather details with its base color of Screaming Skull. For the leather areas, it will just be a stipple highlight on the edges just to give it some texture. Coming back to the base, I'm just going to do an all over wash with null oil. Just to give the base a quick highlight, I'm going to dry brush it with the original base color of neutral grey, making sure I be careful when I get close to the miniature's feet. Thank you all for watching. If you like content like this, or you have a specific chapter in mind for me to cover, please leave it in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.